I mean, there's no denying that things went from bad to worse to now a third level where high-ranking military officials for continuity of government are literally being ushered in and locked off from the rest of the world in underground bunkers. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings, to the We Are Change News Show, where we're going to be talking exactly about that and all the other latest military emergency response that's happening right now to the crisis that, of course, the world is dealing with. And again, as we've been telling you and predicting here, the situation is getting worse, getting out of hand. In New York City, one person dies from this sickness every 17 minutes now, and that number is sure to rise. And there's even conversations about totally locking down New York, New Jersey, and even parts of Connecticut fully from the world. And oh yeah, there's also a comet heading towards Earth. Maybe that could explain some of the latest actions by this military bunker. But anyway, before getting into that, during these especially difficult times, YouTube is going out of its way to unsubscribe people from this channel, demonetize videos, downrank in the algorithm, and attack them in a very eerily similar way as described about in Event 201, which we did a video about yesterday, which you should check out. And to offset that, instead of just asking for donations, we partnered up with businesses that we had relationships with and set up affiliate codes. We've set one up with a health store and also a storable food company that we've been working with for many years now. Their food is great. It has a 25-year shelf life. They are massively back-ordered, but if you're looking for an alternative food supply, definitely check them out. If you're looking for health stuff, check out our other affiliate seller. The links will be down below for these trusted businesses that we work with personally one-on-one. Now, just jumping right into it, I again want to remind everyone that a lot of what's happening right now could have been easily prevented. There were a lot of lies, there were a lot of disinformation, specifically coming from the mainstream media, telling you not to worry about this, and also government officials telling you, yeah, don't worry, you don't need a mask. And now, as we've been screaming at these incompetent government officials that have been spreading dangerous misinformation, which again resulted in the direct increase of this sickness spreading everywhere, finally, the CDC is revising its guidelines from what we've been saying from the beginning, and many other medical professionals have been saying from the beginning, and they are expected to change their guidance on masks, where in the next 10 days, Americans will be advised to wear masks every day, which again has been proven to stop the spread of this sickness. So why did the CDC lie? Why did the Surgeon General lie? Why did the World Health Organization lie? Since again, there's data where societies who are socially acceptable of wearing masks in public are not getting ravaged by this sickness as countries who don't are. Again, look at the curves here. Look at the countries who are dealing with this sickness in the most effective amount of ways. One of the reasons why this is happening is because in their societies, they wear masks. While in the United States, the government and then the mainstream media puppeteers dangerous lies and misinformation that's making this situation as bad as it is now. I mean, to have cases in New York City rise from 4,000 to 26,000, close to 27,000 now? I mean, you have to be freaking kidding me. So yet again, as I've been saying, if we just had more of honest, real information out there, even if there wasn't enough masks for medical professionals, we would of course prioritize those. We would make our own masks, which you simply can do at your home with common supplies, and you could have a tremendous effect at stopping this. Again, everyone's actions matter here, since of course many people have this sickness and don't even know it, but they become super spreaders of it. So why did the government go out of its way to make sure people were disinformed? Again, one person, asymptomatic, not showing any symptoms, was told by the government, by the media, not to wear masks. If they did wear masks, they could potentially stop this outbreak from reaching 40,000 other people. And again, the media is sure to shun some obnoxious, ignorant individuals. Police departments are very happy to go hunting down their fellow citizens who just came from another state, like we're seeing in Rhode Island right now, where the cops and National Guard are literally going door to door looking for New Yorkers. The media is sure to shame individuals. The police and National Guard are sure happy to take away your rights, but for some reason, no one's holding the government accountable at all for their extreme dereliction of duty. Again, this is reason one out of a gajillion, trillion, billion. I just made that word up. To why you should be extremely skeptical of everything that you see and hear from the media and government today. Especially when they're literally going into underground bunkers to seal themselves off from the rest of the world until somehow, some way, this entire sickness somehow ends. Now, the specific military unit that I'm talking about is the U.S. Army's Northern Command that's located inside of a mountain in their own bunker in Colorado. And they are in charge of looking for and detecting any possible threats to the United States. And again, as we've been reporting this from the very beginning, the military has been preparing for this for a while. As it came out, they were preparing to seal themselves off for months. In February, we were also telling you about the plans for continuity of government that were already being practiced and prepared for all the way back in early February on this YouTube channel. And as we told you then, and as we're telling you now, it looks like the military is taking this very seriously, and they are preparing for the worst. Also, many politicians who got warnings and briefings about what was happening with classified information that wasn't privy to you also knew that a major caca storm was coming, and what did they decide to do? Instead of preparing their constituency, preparing their districts, making sure the medical hospitals and equipment was there, what did they do? They didn't do any of that. They told you everything was going to be fine, and then they sold off their stocks, getting rich off of the human suffering that is ensuing now. And that's what government is good for. And this is reason gajillion, billion, I'll make whatever. Another reason why you shouldn't just trust them. Some people are also theorizing that this particular military group that also contains a separate military unit that will take over if anyone becomes ill in that bunker. Many people are saying that they are being sealed off potentially not because of what's happening with, of course, this sickness, but potentially because of an asteroid that is headed towards Earth and is expected to do a close flyby. But again, this hasn't been founded with any evidence. There's a lot of speculation, there's a lot of theories surrounding this, and of course a lot of people being skeptical of what they're hearing, since again, they're hearing a lot of disinformation and lies from the government. So yeah, you ask why people are theorizing or not believing the government? Well, that's because the government hasn't been telling the truth. But as far as this claim goes, I did not see it substantiated at all, and I haven't seen any legitimate evidence claiming that this is the reason why. But that's a whole separate story. Now another aspect that I wanted to talk about, as of course this sickness becomes worse and affects more and more people, as the situation becomes more drastic, more governments will take more drastic actions as well. Donald Trump has even given the Pentagon new powers to call up retired soldiers and reservists to duty right now in what of course looks like more difficult times ahead for everyone. In South Africa, they invoked military-controlled lockdowns as infections soar in that region. And of course, as more military units are brought onto the streets, they are the most at risk of getting this sickness and spreading it to their fellow soldiers, as of course they are in close contact with each other and are housed in close-knit accommodations where sicknesses could spread very quickly. This is why the approach in Rhode Island of going house to house with police and National Guardsmen, getting as much exposure as they can, and then coming back to close quarters with their fellow police officers and National Guardsmen is just an absolute idiotic idea that, of course, will eventually incapacitate them and make them completely ineffective. This is why the Pentagon is soon looking for retirees and reservists to implement these stupid, idiotic government decisions. And again, we're just getting a sneak peek to how ravaging this sickness is, especially to close-knit military in police units, specifically also in New York City, where a large portion of the police officers are hit with this. Why? Because they're making contact with individuals needlessly. But we're also seeing how it's affecting military units, specifically in Asia, where now 2 U.S. aircraft carriers in the Pacific are taken out of action for months after it came out that one of the soldiers got infected with this major sickness. This is also why the military also recently announced that they will not be giving the exact numbers of military personnel that are sick. This latest development also, according to some analysis, is giving China a, quote, free hand in the region, as of course 2 major U.S. aircraft carriers in the region are no longer capable of being operational. This is another reason why the Pentagon has raised its threat level, because when we look at what is happening specifically in the South China Sea, there has been massive saber rattling, massive aggressive actions between the United States and China after, of course, the man-made military islands that China put in an incredibly important geopolitical position for them in that region that has essentially butted heads with the United States. As of course we all know, China is after world global hegemony. The United States has it. This sets up a perfect insidious trap that we have seen historically, and as relations worsen between the United States and China, many people say it's only inevitable until a conflict unfolds between the two. So yeah, as this sickness spreads and governments and media lie to you, and independent media like the one that you're watching right now gets obliterated by YouTube, downranked. Again, hundreds and thousands of people are getting unsubscribed without them doing it every single day, as we're just getting conflicting stories about this alleged patient zero, with the narrative changing right in front of us. The only thing we could do is start to be responsible for ourselves, our actions, and of course prepared for the worst. So yeah, as all of this unfolds, thank you so much for being here with me. You are incredibly lucky to be hearing this video with the aggressive, egregious actions that YouTube is committing against us, and of course anyone else who's not a part of the mainstream media, horror stream media, prostitutes who just regurgitate nonsense to you. So sincerely, thank you again so much. Thank you for checking out also the companies that we do work with. They weren't good companies, I wouldn't be recommending them to you. Because you guys do, because you guys still share this video and help us defeat and fight the huge conflict in front of us with the suppression of free speech. This is why we're still here, and this is why I love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on WeAreChange.org.